So then, if we're identifying ourselves as graduates of CMDFW, what ideally should be those lakshanas, qualities that set us apart from someone else? What should be like, okay, they went to CMDFW, we can tell. What should it be?
So I actually have a funny story
Okay.
that's kind of related to this. I I have two friends who are both in med school right now, and they are on a dating app, and they are currently seeing slash just casually going on dates with these two guys who I know, and they know I know them because they checked my following list on Instagram. So before they went on their first date with both of them, they both texted me on the same day.
Your generation stalks a lot of people. That's
Yeah,
just how
it was
is.
crazy how this happened. They both texted me on the same day, like, "Oh, what do you think of this guy? Is he cool?" And I was like, I mean, both of these guys had gone to Chinmay Mission. I think they're both a year older than me. And I was like, I love this guy. You know, I won't say names, obviously, but
Thank you.
I'm like,
Yeah. We'll
yeah,
bleep it out even if you do.
yeah. I'm like, I've talked to this guy so much. I've gone to I've done workshops. I've gone to Labor Day camps with him. This is a really nice guy. I think you're really gonna like him. And it was funny because both of those people who were going out on those dates told me afterwards. They're like, they asked me, how do you know these two guys, or how do you know these people? I'm like, oh, I know them through Chinmay Mission. And they said, wow, Chinmay Mission is really producing like high quality guys, you know, because I guess their experience in guys has not been great, especially if you're on a dating
I've never
app.
heard this angle before. That's actually pretty refreshing to hear.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was I mean, I'm not making this up. This is real. This
I
happened
trust
like
it.
last week,
Yeah.
actually.
That's awesome.
So I think there's kind of this stigma, which maybe it's a little true, about ABCD boys and girls who, you know, grow up here and they're kind of one and the same. You know, you know what you expect from them. Right. They're kind of in tune with their culture, but they more so just talk about it to make them seem unique.
So not that we teach guys how to date in the mission. That's
Not at all.
something.
I'm not saying
How
that.
is that manifesting then? How did this come out the way
Just
it
being
did?
they're respectful. They're nice. They try to create a genuine connection with you.
Okay.
You know, they know the importance of dating and relationships, and they know the importance of creating good relationships, which they've probably had so much experience doing while in Chinmay Mission. And they have really good values inculcated in them growing up in such a, I guess, wholesome environment, an environment that teaches you good values.
It's a safe, supportive environment. That's what we try to make it, where no one feels singled out for any reason, and you're celebrated for your wins. You are comforted with your losses. That's what I felt during my whole time. Now, one big feature we have of CMDFW that's unique to our center is every week you have a class performing on stage.
Yep.
So what's your funniest, wildest, most embarrassing stage moment you've had in your life?
Probably just forgetting my lines. I think it was 6th grade. I don't even remember I can't remember right now what the topic of the play was, but I remember just completely forgetting my lines on stage at Saket. And then I hear one of my classmates off on the side room being like, Guha, you forgot your lines. No. And like she said it so loud that the rest of the stage, or like the rest of the audience, could hear it.
Oh, good. Nice.
And kind of like drowned out the awkwardness, I guess. And then my teacher like whispers from the side room, like, oh, like he whispers my line, like, oh, say this. And I'm like, okay, I get back on track. So yeah, I mean, just forgetting my lines is kind of embarrassing. But the plays are always fun. I think, especially when you're younger, when you're going to class leading up to that plays, it's always fun because you get to think of a script, act it out with your classmates. It's more than just your teacher lecturing you. So that was always a fun time.
So those are bonding experiences that keep it going. Now, we have high school hangouts and camps for the high schoolers specifically because that's the time where they're too cool for Bala Vihar. So in a way, making Bala Vihar cool again, I'm not going to make a hat saying that, but making Bala Vihar cool again is what we have to do to really retain them.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about these hangouts and camps that you think has that impact on these kids?
Well, speaking from my experience, the main thing is the social aspect.
Okay.
It gives all these Bala Vihar kids a chance to see their friends who they probably don't see at school. Because everyone from Bala Vihar is from different school districts: Plano, Allen, Frisco. So that's the main thing. Also, I think it's very relevant to their lives right now, especially the high school hangouts. I think the most relevant one we've done recently is the dating and relationships. I mean, when you're in high school, dating and relationships, you want to know all you can about that. Like what does your religion think about it? How is it viewed? How should you view it? How do you navigate that as you go through high school and become an adult? So it's not. I think we've done a good job of keeping it relevant to Hinduism and their culture, but also not making it so informative and strict to where they lose interest. And you're the one who plans a lot of the activities for these high school hangouts, and I think you do a great job of making workshops, movie workshops especially. I know one time we did an escape room for the Halloween, around that Halloween time.
Sanjanaji built an entire haunted house downstairs.
Built a haunted house.
I was afraid to go through alone. I was like, dude, can you walk with me is what I said to her, because it was actually scary, the haunted house.
She turned the whole downstairs of Saket into a haunted house escape room. I was like, it was wild. Amazing. Yeah.
So we have to do things like this to really interest the kids. You look at any religious institution, mosques or synagogues or churches in the area, the amount of high school programming they have is just out of this world. It's so frequent that they do it, more than just their regular Sunday sessions that they have, because they understand pulling away from religion is natural for kids at that age. Why not retain them by meeting them at their level, upping that coolness factor with the religious message as well? That's the inspiration that I found. That when I was in high school, Bal Vihar was something I'd complain about going to. I remember telling my parents, I'm never going to use this again, which but it just didn't have any relevance to me because the topics were not what I was actually going through. It was something abstract about this philosophy. I didn't really connect with it at that stage. I wish I did. I would have gotten a lot more out of it. That's on me, not on my teachers. That's totally on me. But when I talked to my friends at school, there's this thing called Young Life that they would have affiliated with Allen High School, right? Where it's a Christian group that meets Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
Everyone went there.
Yeah.
And it's not even for the reason of they believe in everything so much. It was a socially cool thing to do. So they all wear the Young Life shirts on every Wednesday and they go.
Yeah.
I want to have that coolness factor for Bal Vihar.
Or like Fellowship of Christian Athletes, where they just go play sports in the gym.
Yeah. But there's this bonding through love of Christ that they have, and that's what brings them all together through something like sports. So we've got to get creative in what we do to really retain our youth going forward.
Yeah, I agree.